Hey guys, it's your boy R's back at it again with another video. And it's that time. We're about to enter another patch. New characters means new tier list. I updated some of the categories and some of my bullet points from the previous video. So if you want to pause and look at that, you can go ahead. The important note is that this tier list is predicting where I believe these characters will be rated by the end of the version, not how good they are currently. All characters are rated at E0S0, except the Trailblazer, which is rated at E6S0. So I'm going to full screen this. You want to pause and look at that. And then these are the important differences between my tier list and Pride Wins tier list. So you can pause and look at that as well. And the only other note is that I am still going to be including every single character that was available or is available between 3.0 and 3.7 will be tiered. So even if a character came out in 3.0, I'm still going to be updating them in the tier list as the versions go on. So just want to clarify that in case anybody gets confused if they watched the previous video and is looking at this one. So starting from right to left, Hyacinth. So obviously this is purely speculative. I think that she is going to be a solid, well-rounded character. I heard that she was going to be a healer. So based off of the precedence that has been set by Hoyoverse in terms of where they release their characters, they usually put the strong and powerful characters first, and then after that, they put the more balanced or maybe underwhelming characters after that, and they sort of oscillate between that pattern from patch to patch. So I think that she falls into the balance category, and therefore I'm going to put her at tier 0.5. I don't think that she's going to change the game, but she'll be a nice character for someone that may be new and is looking for a solid character to invest into. So we'll put her at tier 0.5. Oh, reliable. Whoa. Definitely has aged well of the older characters that have come out. She provides energy, has automatic cleansing, provides attack. She just has a lot of utility. For that reason, I think that she fits very solidly in tier 0.5. And then, of course, there's the added benefit that she works perfectly with Aglia, who just came out. So if you're looking for Aglia's best in slot and that's who you want to invest into, then Ho is a solid pickup. Lanksha. So previously I had her ranked at tier 0.5. I am moving her up a tier. I realized that because she fits into, like, she basically fits into the summoner meta, and also because she provides AoE damage as well, and she has automatic cleanses, all those things combined makes her like one of the most ideal sustains in the entirety of this version. And for that reason, I think that she will fit very solidly into tier 0 by the end. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe things change, but that's where I'm going to put her for the time being. As I've already said, Robin is disgusting. She's, to me, the best Harmony character in the game. Provides action advance, provides attack, provides damage bonus. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say from that. Well, I'll say she provides damage bonus once you have her light cone, but even if you take that away, just the 100% action advance and the attack and the additional damage makes her Trailblazer tier from my perspective. So she stays there and most likely is going to remain there for the rest of the version. She could be power crept, but I don't see it happening. And if it does, it's not going to happen anytime soon unless the developers are insane. I had them in tier 0.5 in my previous video. Same thing. They stay exactly where they are. I anticipate that a 5-star Harmony or Remembrance character is going to come out that power creeps them directly, kind of like how Fugue directly power creeps the Harmony main character. So for that reason, I'm going to put them in tier 0.5. They're obviously still very strong right now, and they will be strong by the end of the version. Now, last time I had Triby at tier 1, that hasn't really changed. They heavily modified and tweaked her kit since the last time that we talked about her. I was actually going to upgrade her I was gonna put her here. I saw her utility and how she was going to be able to be used with other characters, and then they took that utility away from her. And so now she stays here. If I had to guess as to why they changed her kit so dramatically, I'm gathering they were trying to reduce her utility so that she's not a second Robin, essentially. But if they had left her kit as is and allowed her to be a more universal support, it would have made them more money and been a boon to new and older players. So I have no idea why they took that utility from her and basically relegated her to being an erudition support while being a DDD jockey. People are talking about her signature light cone and people are talking about her E1. Obviously, I'm not accounting for those, so without those, she is going to be tier 1 by the end of the version. I anticipate that a more overpowered Harmony or Remembrance character that directly steps on her toes is going to come out, which would be the character that's power creeping the Remembrance main character. So I don't see this character being insane by the end of the version. I could be wrong, but that's where I'm going to place her from an E0 S0 perspective. Silverwolf. I had her at tier 3. That doesn't change. I heard some rumblings that she is supposed to be getting buffed. I don't know whether or not that's going to be true. So even though this is obviously a very speculative tier list, I legitimately have nothing on her at all being buffed. Nothing. This is just stuff that I've read and rumored in like comment sections and like discords and stuff. So I can't move her up to what could be tier 1 with that information. If I were to take it at face value, then she would most definitely be moved all the way up here. But I don't know whether or not that information is accurate. I can't verify it by any way stretch of the imagination. So we're putting her at tier 3. But Silverwolf mains, if you have her, she might be getting a buff. It's just rumors. I could be 100% wrong, and the people that said that shit could also be 100% wrong. So take that with a grain of salt. Tier 3 is where I'm putting her for the time being. Now, Jade, still tier 1, solid character. However, this guy, Anaxa, I've seen the rumblings of his kit already, and oh my goodness, he looks overpowered as hell. And I'm not even just talking about for erudition. If his kit works the way that I think is going to work, he might be a more universal supporting character. And if that is true, he is definitely going to be tier 0. Of course, if they make his kit a little bit more balanced, we put him here. But the reason why I'm leaning on him being broken is because he's going to be released side by side with Castorice. And as I already said, I'm operating under the assumption that HSR is basically going by strong patch, balanced patch, strong patch, balanced patch. Your strong before was Aglia and the Herda, then is going to be My Day and Triby, balanced, and then Castorice and Anaxa, broken. So I think she's going to fall into that. That he's going to fall into that broken category. So I'm going to put him at tier 0. My Day. He got buffed. I'm glad that he got buffed. I'm glad that he works with more supports than he did. But he still does not have a dedicated support. For that reason, I'm putting him at tier 1. I think that there are other DPS in the game that are going to come out that is going to kind of put him to shame. So, yeah, when he comes out, he's going to be nuts. But by the end of the version, I doubt it. So, yeah, he is going to be put solidly in tier 1. Fei Xiao, still tier 0. She has been able to do some ridiculous things, even with this meta not being for her. If the supports that are coming out works with her the way that I think they're going to work, she's definitely going to be tier 0 by the end of the version, but that remains to be seen. But for a time being, I'm putting her at tier 0. The Herda. I am going to be putting her at tier 0. Before I had her at tier 0.5. I think that with the addition of Anaxa that she will be moving up. I think that these are going to be considered like partner characters to each other. If you have both of them, they're going to just hop off and she becomes way more universal than I initially thought she was going to be. I thought that she wasn't going to get a dedicated support as fast as she did, and especially one that looks to be as good as Anaxa. And, well, now that that's changed, my perspective changes, and therefore I move her up a tier. So her domains be very glad. She looks like she's going to be nuts for the rest of the version, but we'll see. Right now, we're going to put her at tier 0. I had Aglia at tier 0.5. That remains the same. Unfortunately, some of her utility is locked into her E1, which is the reason why I can't put her at tier 0, but she still works with Robin and Sunday very, very well, who are both very, very strong characters. So if you have both of them, this character is going to pop off, obviously. And also, she works well with the Remembrance Trailblazer. So I think that she's still a very solid character, but not on the same tier as these guys. So we're going to put her at tier 0.5. Seele Pro Max. I've seen rumblings of her kit as well. She still looks like she's going to be insane. However, they could tone it down. We have no clue. But I'm still predicting she's going to be at tier 0 based on what I've seen thus far. So that's where she goes. Blue Hill. I still think that he's tier 0.5. I think that Super Break is falling off a little bit. But it's a possibility that it gets revived by the end of the version. Maybe they add another support. Now, of course, I'm sure that a lot of people are tired of Super Break and don't want them to get another support and to basically have someone come out to support another archetype, specifically for characters like Blade, Jinglu, Maide, things of that nature. But they could drop another support that maybe is intentionally for Super Break or unintentionally good for Super Break. And if they do, I still think that by the end of the version is going to be tier 0.5. And even though this isn't really the Super Break meta, he still performs rather well. So we'll put him right there. Now, Yoon Lee is a nice character. I like what she does, but I don't think that she is... I guess her downside is that she's balanced. She's not broken. She's not overpowered in any way, but she's a pretty balanced character, and depending on what type of enemies you're fighting, she's broken. And against most enemies in the game, she's okay. So definitely tier 1. She is a solid character, but not something that I would put at any level of high priority. Cypher. Now, this character's designation surprised me. I have no idea why she has the predicted element and path that she does, and that leaves me with a lot of questions because this either could be a sleeper or she's going to be sleep. So I don't know. Obviously, this is purely speculative. I have no idea what her kit looks like, so I'm gonna put her at tier 1 to be safe. On to the pool recommendations. My important note is that all pool recommendations are based on my experience and perspective as a free-to-play player. Pool value is also considered using a character's rating from the previous list. Now I'm going to full screen this. You know, pause and read the rest of that. Pause and read the rest of that. And we're going to move on. For sustains, Hyacinth. Well, she could be really, really good. Or she could be here. If I had to guess, she most likely is going to be a comfort pool. I don't think that she is going to be game changing by any stretch of the imagination. She could be for certain characters. That remains to be seen. This is purely speculative. I think that she's going to be a comfort pool. Hwan Hwan. Still a very solid character if you're looking for a cleanser and you don't have Linksha, or if you have Aglia, or you play any characters that have a very high energy pool. I mean, she fits very perfectly into those teams. I think that she has aged well, as I said before, and for that reason, I'm going to put her in the should pull category. Tribby. If they had changed her, or at least if they had left her kit as is and she had the same utility that she had before, I would have upgraded her to should pull. But because they changed her kit and she just looks like another DDD jockey to me, she stays in comfort pool. Don't know what else to tell you. It is a possibility that Tribby is a best in slot for Caster Ice, primarily because she is a HP scaling character from what we've heard, and Tribby provides res pin, and we don't have an HP dedicated support at this time. And some testing has been done that suggests that Tribby could be a best in slot for Caster Ice. She could also be a best in slot for Herta, or maybe not. And if I had to guess, I'm leaning on probably not. So for that reason, she stays in comfort pool. Based off what I've seen, should pull, especially if you're in the, looking into the erudition meta, the Herta meta. Bro looks like he's going to be nuts. I'm just going to be real. More nuts than she is. I think that her biggest downside is I have to compare her to other Harmony characters in her class, and obviously in the Amplifier class. And if I were to compare her there, then she stays here. But in this tier of support DPS, which we don't have a ton of, bro is literally built different. He's just going to be above the rest. He looks like he's going to be insane. So I'm going to put him at should pull. You guys already know how I feel about Sailor Pro Max. I'm not going to go into much further detail about that. Definitely put her in should pull. She most likely is going to be broken as hell. So that's where we put her. Yoon Lee. Like I said, can't put any priority or high stock into her. She's definitely not a bad character by any stretch of the imagination. But unless you have extra resources to, throw away, I wouldn't recommend pulling her unless you just really like the character. You'll be able to do great things with her, but I don't think that she's going to be in the same tier as Caster Ice, as an example. Moving him up a tier. Before I had him in luxury pool. After the buffs, I put him in comfort pool. At the very least, it's not a complete waste of Jades if you pull him now. Before, it was why would you pull for this character by any stretch of the imagination? Now it's okay, if you want to pull for him, it makes a little bit more sense. But I'm personally not putting any stock into him either. It's very likely that another character is going to come out that is going to outclass him in always down the line. So I'm putting him at comfort pool. For me, both Tribby and My Day upcoming are just underwhelming. If you want to pull them, go right ahead. But me personally, I can't highly recommend them, so they both go into comfort pool. Now, for this character, and the reason why I'm doing this is because, like I said, this character's classification is nonsense to me. It doesn't make any sense. I have no idea what they're thinking with this kit. Maybe she's game changing, and by the time that I actually see her kit, she gets moved all the way up here. But with the information that I have right now, I just don't see the vision for this character. The logic is not logicking to me. So, for that reason, I'm putting her at luxury pool. I think that she has low account value. Maybe I'm wrong, but the only way for us to find out is to wait. Alright. I'm going to be uploading these tier lists, but here's a full screen for anybody that wants to take a picture of it for some reason. But like I said, this will be going up in my community post, so you can obviously grab a clean copy from there. and this is the pool tier list. So yeah, I think that these look good. If you like the video, hit the like, subscribe, and I do have a project on the way, given that the anniversary is upcoming, and anytime the anniversary is upcoming, I like to do something big for it. So look forward to that. Like, subscribe. Your boy R's is out.